Non-Americans of Reddit, what was the biggest culture shock you experienced when you came to the US? Everything being ducking huge. Literally. Road lanes, groceries, soda sizes. Especially distances. Where I come from, 3 hours of driving are enough to cross half of the country. In the US it's just a small drive to go to see a relative or something. You can drive 11 hours in the US and only go from one state to another. You can drive for 11 hours in Los Angeles and still be in Los Angeles. Ha ha ha, duck law traffic. Advertisements in between the title credits of the show and the actual show. You guys have a lot of advertisements. In fact, so many ads, you forgot there even was a show. Netflix is a bliss. Pretty wild that a 30-minute show only lasts 20 minutes, right? Some shows are 18 minutes squeezing as much as they can. And 3 of those minutes are recapping what happened before the ad. Lawyer commercials, and if this happened to you, you can sue them. Commercials. Commercials were particularly obnoxious. When we first arrived, and I walked up to a soda machine. We never had those, and I think I drank 10 to 15 refills of Coke before my parents started yelling at me. Unlimited soda, are you kidding me? WTF. Yeah, so do not order a ducking large. Order a small and fill it 15 times, duh. But if you order a large, then you get like 16 more odds that you get to drink in the car on the way home. Food advertising everywhere. And all the lawyer advertisements on the road and medical advertisements on TV. It had been 20 minutes since we got our appetizer, which we were having trouble finishing because the portion was so huge, when a woman came up to our table and said, "Hello, I'm Sheila, the manager," and we were like, shit, have we done something wrong? But no, she was there to apologize profusely for our main course being so late. We figured it would be another 15 minutes or so, which would be okay since we were struggling with the appetizer, but nah, she was leaving our food arrived. If that was back home, not only would the food be later than 20 minutes, there would be no Sheila to beg for our forgiveness. And definitely not if it was literally 10 seconds away. Oh man, this cracked me up so much. The portion sizes and free refills. The huge packaging units in the supermarket. Everything just bived. Wait till you see Costco's and Sam's Club's, lol, it gets bigger. I took a friend from France to Costco once. He just walked around saying wow and touching everything. Edit, for those who don't know, Costco is a magical place that will plan your funeral, sell you a casket, put new tires on your car, give you an eye checkup, sell you 10 pounds of king crab, sell you a Hawaiian vacation package, or a 75-inch flat screen, or a new bed, or a 100-pack of pens you didn't know you wanted. They also have the cheapest gas in all the land. Weird things you can buy at Costco. To be fair, I've lived in the US all my life and I do that at Costco. I used to work at a Sam's Club and you could always tell the first-timers. They'd be standing out front with a dazed look on their face with a year's supply of toothbrushes and a vat of mayo in their cart. The different kinds of flavors for beverages. I was overwhelmed by the sheer number of options. Just so you guys know, I enjoyed having multiple options. Until I came to the US, I had no idea I liked blue raspberry flavored soda, and I found out that I like to mix different kinds of sodas from the fountain and make a cocktail soda occasionally. Edit, also, I like how you guys have a shit ton of flavors for your alcohol. I liked a lot of them, but to be honest, I didn't enjoy the whipped cream flavored stuff. There's a market in my downtown area that has an entire section of craft sodas. A pop for any flavor you can think of. Even bacon. I don't recommend that one. Edit, no, it isn't Rocket Fizz. I think it's called High Tide. It's not even a shop, it's a section in a large market of shops and restaurants. Think very large mall kiosk. I tried a ranch flavored one once. 010 would also not recommend. Medical advertisements on TV. This was weird for me. When I go to the doctor, she tells me what medication I need, but all the ads say to ask my doctor to prescribe that medication. It's so odd. Not sure about the country where you live, but where I live, drug companies just send agents to advertise their product to doctors directly. Could not walk anywhere, or take good public transport. Always had to take Ubers or hitch lifts. Everything was also huge. Cities, buildings, regular houses, food portions. I'd say people, but I did not see anybody who was hugely obese there at least. There was an insane amount of space just everywhere. As a European used to being crammed into every available nook, even in rural areas, the way that towns and cities just stretched out was unimaginable. I completely agree with everything. I lived here for about 9 years now, and the first thing I noticed was the lack of sidewalks and fences around houses. Huge distances. Huge selections at the supermarkets. Also, I remember the day after my friend picked me up at the airport and we went to a store, I thought he knew the cashier personally, because he asked, "Hi, how are you?" And coming from Europe, I wasn't used to that. Also, I got super lazy, getting used to people bagging my stuff at checkout, because every time I go back to Europe to visit my family, I panic and start sweating trying to bag my own groceries quick enough, so the other people in line won't try to murder me. Lol. The air conditioning. Everywhere. And the literal temperature shock between the inside and the outside of any ducking building. This reminds me. I spent a week in Vegas while doing some paperwork with a consulate. It was 1:17 that day. Oh my god. Was in a gas station, nice and cool. When I opened the door to exit, it felt exactly like when I opened the door to a pizza oven, heat hitting me in the face. It was absurdly hot. I don't get how some people can actually live out there. Whack. We spent like 2 minutes walking from a parking garage into a casino, and I felt exhausted after just the couple minutes. People really care about their teeth, like whitening and straightening. I was talking to a friend about hair transplants. I said it would be nice to get since I'm balding, but I don't want to pay that much for something cosmetic. She says, "Have you thought about whitening your teeth?" Well, I hadn't, but ever since that comment I think about it all the time. Thanks, friend. Sadly, your brain won't ever forget that. I have a wonky tooth from knocking my tooth out when I was younger. I work in a dentist and it still didn't bother me. That was until my young nephew said, "Hey auntie, what's wrong with your tooth?" Yeah, I'm now saving to have them straightened. Edit, no, my job doesn't offer free treatment. In fact, in the UK, dental nurses are shit on daily. They're low paid, pay out hundreds in insurance council fees, don't get any NHS benefits if they work in an NHS practice, and most jobs won't give their staff free treatment. My old job, my boss started braces for free as he wanted to be the first dentist to 3D print from scan to braces, and I was the guinea pig. He did 3 sets and stopped. He had already prepped my teeth and left me looking worse. Everyone I met treated me like a long-lost friend. Americans are, as one Canadian Redditor once said, collectively crazy, but individually the nicest people you'll ever meet. An close Aussie friend of mine bought a motorcycle and hit all 48 mainland states about 7 to 8 years ago. He said the Deep South was incredible, and also bizarre. As he said, they're the absolute nicest, kindest, most thoughtful people you'll ever meet, who will also casually drop the N-word mid-conversation. This is true. Half my family is from the Deep South, will give you the shirt off their back and fix your car if you break down and want nothing in return. Then promptly say the most racist shit you've ever heard. Root beer. When non-Americans talk about root beer, I am reminded of this conversation from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. YouTube.com. Hi, humans love root beer. How early everything starts. School, work. 6 a.m. wake-ups. That was hard. Some of us set alarms for 4 a.m. every day. Not since work from home. I get to sleep in 5:30 a.m. like a regular person now. I work from home now. We have a morning meeting at 8 a.m. and now I get to wake up at 7:58 and get to work by 8. Working from home is a game changer. 7:58, wake up 8 o'clock, meeting 8:30, go back to sleep 10 o'clock, wake up to start the day. 11 o'clock, vape. That's all the work I could possibly do today, better go for a walk and a long lunch. Not really a shock, but one thing that really surprised me was the sheer amount of flags. It was like almost every building had an American flag. Here in Belgium, if I see a house with a national flag, I assume there's some kind of sport event going on that I didn't know about. The bigger the flag, the more successful your car dealership becomes. It's simple economics. Lamau, the biggest American flag I've ever seen is one at my Ford dealership downtown. Said flag. It's always a Ford dealership. They know their demographic.